All right, Ethan, it's time to break down and overreact to week 1 of the NFL season, which is the perfect time for overreactions. Ethan, I think one of your favorite things to do is overreact. So uh, this is your chance, man. Give me a couple of overreactions from your NFL week 1 experience.
Honestly, my first overreaction has got to be that Deshaun Watson is the worst quarterback in the NFL. I think he's worse than Bryce Young. I think he's worse than Daniel Jones. I've been saying for about a year and a half that he's fucking ass, but he's really, really ass. He's really bad. And I know going into the game against Dallas, the Browns were picked as the favorites. The Cowboys kind of had a mid-off season. Even though they really kind of just kept a lot of the same pieces. It's really the same team that they had last year. They lost a little bit of the depth that they had, but at the same time, they do have the best defense in football, one of the best defenses in football. And Deshaun Watson couldn't move the ball at all, man. So that'd have to be my first overreaction is Deshaun Watson's the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Okay, that's a good one. I am going to do an overreaction on the Atlanta Falcons and a specific player. Actually, it's I'm going to get called a hater for this, but I'm going with Kirk Cousins. I feel like obviously the Steelers defense got after him all day. TJ Watt was having a field day. I get it. But in my opinion, I did see Kirk a little slow. The blitz kind of made him panic a little bit, even more than he was already doing before. And he hasn't always been a very mobile guy. The injury did not help him at all. And I don't know. Maybe this is the overreaction, but I think there's a very good chance we see Michael Penix at some point this season.
No, I'm with you. I think it's clear Kirk hasn't recovered from his season. What was it, Achilles or ACL last year?
It was Achilles.
He doesn't look like he's recovered. His footwork's been a little off. Even the way the offense is designed, a lot of stuff was out of shotgun and out of pistol, which isn't Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is the play action quarterback, get the ball under center. That's who Kirk Cousins is. And that offense looked disastrous, just as bad as it looked last year when they had Desmond Ridder behind center. And it looks like it's going to take some time for Kirk Cousins. And we probably jumped the gun on the Atlanta Falcons being the favorite. Because if you look at the way Tampa looked, Baker Mayfield and them, they look great. Derek Carr and the Saints with the new offensive coordinator, they looked really good. Don't get me wrong. I'll see how they look this week against Dallas, like an actual legit NFL defense, because the Panthers stink. But at the same time, they all look better than the Falcons by a lot.
Yeah.
But
another overreaction.
My another overreaction has got to be, you're gonna hate this. I think we jumped the gun on the Packers, especially Jordan Love. Going into the season, I know a lot of people had picked Jordan Love. He wasn't the favorite. I'm not gonna guess that, but he was definitely an underdog MVP candidate, and especially the way they embarrassed my former team, the Dallas Cowboys, and just how overall they ended the season last year. And watching the game against the Eagles, I still think there's a clear gap between them and that first tier of NFL teams in the NFC, because Jalen Hurts played as bad as you could possibly play for 3 quarters, and they still won that game, the Eagles. And you know how I feel about the Eagles. And Jordan Love, even though he played good starting out, again, my opinion, he really shit the bed towards it. There was about a 2-drive stretch where he turned the ball over and they just couldn't get touchdowns, that they could have really put the Eagles away and let the Eagles get back into it and murder she wrote. And then also him having the injury that he has, granted, is not as serious as we all thought in that video. He's still going to be out, what was it, like 4 weeks minimum, give or take?
No, they said 3 to 6. I'm thinking they didn't even put him on IR, so I'm thinking they're gonna probably bring him back in the less than 4 week mark. They're
Yeah.
even saying that he might play this week. I don't know if that's a bluff, trying to get the
Oh, I think that's
Colts, I think.
a 1,000% a bluff.
But
But even
I'm expected to see Malik Willis for the Packers this week. But uh,
yeah, I just think that
I
we
don't
might
know.
have overjumped the Love and the Packers ascendants. They're good. Like again, not gonna talk shit about them, but I think as far as them being a contender, they're just at least from again week one overreactions. I don't see them as a contender. I really don't. The receiving court is solid. Jordan Love, really rusty. He looks like um the defense. Y'all's defense got gash, especially switching over to. I know you were happy because I remember last year you were complaining a lot about the fact that Jair wasn't playing a lot of man, and y'all were playing too much zone. And this game you guys played man pretty much. And that's all you played all game, and Jair got his ass spit into by AJ Brown. Like, AJ Brown tore his shit up. Tore his shit
Okay.
up all game. I just think
Hey,
we
so
overreacted on the Packers. Again, it's week one overreactions.
yeah,
It's week
it
one.
is. It
It's
is.
week one.
So here's my defense, and I think a lot of that is stems from your hate for the Eagles. Me personally, I still think the Eagles are a good team, and I think the Packers put up a very good fight. I think game planning wise, Matt LaFleur, did a very good job of keeping the Packers in that game. I think Jordan did look a little rusty, but I think he still looked like the player that we saw in the Cowboys game, in the Niners game, where he can make these off platform throws. He wasn't getting helped a lot with the penalties. The field was a shit show. Receivers were dropping passes. But yeah, it's unfortunately he got hurt. But yeah, I don't know. I'll give them a little grace because I think the Eagles are a good team and I think they put up a good fight. They're one of the more elite teams, but we'll get into like the week 2 predictions and stuff. But the Packers really need to win at least 1 or 2 games while Jordan is gone to keep above water and stay competitive in that NFC, especially in the NFC North. But my next overreaction, Ethan. Um, I'm ready to say it. I'm done with the Raiders, man. Like, it's week 1. I know it's a divisional matchup, but watching that game was really frustrating for me. I'm not even a Raiders fan, but watching that game and seeing they had an opportunity with like 6 minutes left. I think it was 4th and 1. And Antonio Pierce punted the ball. That decision, I think, was really demoralizing for the team. And I think it's just going to have a trickle down effect throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Gardner Minshew's the guy. And I really don't think the Chargers even played all that great. J.K. Dobbins had a field day, but that was even kind of surprising because the Raiders were supposed to have a great D line. So I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
ran all over.
I'm
Even Joe Alt took Max Crosby to fucking school, and he's a rookie. Like Joe Alt looked like a problem.
yep.
He
And
looked like a problem.
And maybe I am taking the Chargers for granted. It is week 1 NFL overreactions. So it could be entirely possible that the Raiders bounce back the same way that any of the teams that we've talked about here, that the Packers show improvement. That who else did we mention? We talked about the
We talk about the Packers. We talk about
Falcons.
Deshaun Watson and Falcons. I think those
Oh,
that's
and
good for
and
week
the
one
Browns.
overreactions.
Yeah.
I think that's good for week 1 overreactions. Let's move on to week 2 predictions. We're gonna I wouldn't say speed run through these, but there's a lot of games. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go
So
through.
we'll quickly get through them though.
All right.
You want me to start it off?
Yeah, start off. Start off.
All right. We got the Thursday night game. Bills at Dolphins. How we feeling, E?
I'm going Dolphins. I think this is the game the Dolphins get up on the Bills. They're gonna be at home. early in the season. I think the Bills looked really, really strong in their first game. Josh Allen is going to have to do a lot of carrying this year for them, especially with them losing Stephon Diggs and a lot of the pieces on that defense. So I'm gonna go Dolphins for this game.
Yeah, this one's kind of a toss up for me too because I think both of them kind of look good. The Dolphins were a little slow coming out the gate, I think, against Jacksonville for me.
We probably should have lost. I probably should have
Yeah,
lost if
but
ETN doesn't fumble in the back of the end zone.
I definitely see these guys splitting. I'm going to take Buffalo in this game.
Okay.
Just because I like Josh Allen, and I think he had a really good week one. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to change that because I forgot Josh Allen did get hurt at the end of that game. It is on his non-throwing hand, but at home with him a little more banged up, give me the Dolphins.
All right. Game 2, we got 12 o'clock games, Niners and Vikings. I think we both can agree on this. Both got the Niners, unless you got an upset. Yeah, I got the Niners.
Yeah.
I got Seattle and New England. New England's coming off a pretty impressive win, beating the Bengals in Cincinnati. I think they're going to roll and beat Seattle in New England as well. They got a really, really good defense. And yeah, I'm going to roll with New England. I'm going to roll with New England over Seattle at home.
You know, I'm not mad at that, actually. Ramondre Stevenson had himself a game. So, I'll jump on that one, too. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, 3 for 3. Game number 2, the Giants and Commanders, a mid-off, some might say. I think they're playing in Washington. This game, I'm going to give they both look pretty bad week 1. I mean, Jaden Daniels did rush for a lot of yards in week 1. I'm going to go with the Giants. I think the Giants, Daniel Jones, this is going to be one of their only chances this season to get wins, and they're not going to have a lot of them this season. I think they're going to end up splitting on the year with Washington, but I think they're going to get this first one away. They're going to want to bounce back, especially the way they were playing against they didn't play New Orleans. Who did they play this past week? Vikings, especially how they played against the Vikings. I'm going to pick the Giants over the Commanders.
This is where we're going to have a difference. I'm going with the Commanders in this one. They got a home game. I think Jaden Daniels looked really good against the Seattle defense, all things considered. So, yeah, give me the Commanders.
Cool. Well, then I'm going to go next game. We got Chargers and Panthers. I'm going to go to Chargers. I think the Panthers are probably the worst team in the NFL. I think they roll them.
Yeah, I'm with you there. No, not much to say there because the Panthers, we all saw that game. They were rough.
Saints, Cowboys. I think this is gonna be very reminiscent of last year when the Cowboys played the Cardinals, and they had a trap game early on. I do think the Cowboys win, but I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think. One possession game for sure, because of the fact that the Saints, their car is not very good, but I do like their new offensive coordinator. Some advanced stats for you, advanced stats nerds. They were in the, I think, first or second in week 1 in motion. And although they did play Carolina and Dallas' defense is significantly better than Carolina's, I do think he's going to make an impact for Derek Carr getting the ball to his playmakers like Chris Olave, Kamara, and them boys. Yeah, I think Dallas is going to win, but I think it's going to be really, really close. But I got Dallas over New Orleans at home. First home opener.
Yeah, give me the Cowboys too. I think the Saints looked good, but it was against the Panthers. Could definitely be a trap game. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Saints.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be.
But yeah, give me the Cowboys though.
I got Colts, Packers. Packers at home.
No Jordan Love, most likely.
No Jordan Love. But I'm gonna go Packers. I think Malik Willis. This will be a game where y'all win. I really don't trust the Colts that much. I do like AR. I thought he played pretty. He had some really good highlights against the Texans, but I don't know. I just see away from home, a little too big for the boots. I want the Colts to win because I don't like seeing y'all win, but I do think Malik Willis somehow, some way, I do think y'all win that game. So I'm gonna go Packers over the Panthers, or Packers over the Colts.
Colts. All right.
Yep.
Wow. I hate doing this, but I like to remain unbiased. I'm picking against my Packers just because I think there's just too much going on right now with the quarterback situation. Malik Willis just got into the building a couple weeks ago, so I'm not really sure if he's got a full grasp of the offense, if they're going to cater to him. I hope that's the case, but I really like what I saw from the Colts last week. Anthony Richardson and that offense were just a few plays away from winning that game against a very good Texans team. So I'm not taking this game lightly. I think the Packers really need to bring their A game and need to put a good game plan around Malik Willis if they want to have any chance at winning this. So give me the Colts.
Yeah, I think y'all gonna lean on Josh Jacobs a lot, especially because
For sure.
Indy D line, especially stopping the run, they got shredded by Joe Mixon. So that's what I think y'all gonna do. All right, next game, we got Browns versus Jaguars. In Jacksonville, I think this is a game that both teams really, really need. Jacksonville let the game slip against Miami that they probably should have won. And the Browns really disappointed against the Cowboys. Really, really disappointed, especially Deshaun Watson in that offense. I'm going to go Jacksonville at home. I just think Deshaun Watson's terrible. I think we're going to be seeing Jameis Winston very, very soon.
Yep, me too. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they need the win a lot.
They got to keep the turnovers low, though. Against that defense, they're going to have to keep the turnovers low.
Yep, because last week it was Travis Etienne who had that horrible fumble that really basically fumbled the game away. But yeah, give me the Jags just because as long as Deshaun Watson is the quarterback of the Browns, I don't really have a great feeling about that offense.
Yeah.
They just lost a little bit without Nick Chubb too, which we're still missing him.
So.
Hopefully they'll get him back.
Yeah, next game we got Jets versus Titans. Will Levis had probably meme of the year already, him falling down to his knees, because that was one of the worst picks I've ever seen. I don't know why he would ever toss that shit. You Will Levis fans are gonna have to hold this shit come into the season if he keeps playing like this.
Yeah,
that was really, really bad. That was really, really bad. He gave up that game for no reason. And even the Jets too. I get it. They played the Niners, and it's for Aaron Rodgers' first game back in a year and a half, but he looked like the Rodgers from the last season in Green Bay than the year before. And I know that's a big drop off, but yeah, Rodgers didn't look the best. He looked mid at best, I would like to say. Only threw to one side of the field the whole game. I get it. It's against the Niners, and the Niners have a great defense. So I'm not completely overreacting, but that they looked very, very mid. The Jets team. It's not over with though, but I'm gonna pick the Jets.
So who are you taking?
I'm gonna pick the Jets. I think the Titans, I'm not really sold on Will Levis, even though that Titans defense is really, really good. They were really, really good in week one.
Okay.
Basically shutting out the Bears. But I gotta pick mid Will Levis or mid Aaron Rodgers. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pick a mid Aaron Rodgers. So
man, see, okay. I am with you on one of those things. I have been a big Will Levis defender. Gosh, that was a rough game. I cannot lie. I'm not going to defend that. I don't have anything really to say about that except he's got the rest of the season to fix that, and hopefully he can. But I think you're wrong about Rodgers, man. I think you're right in the sense that he might just be as good as he was that last season in Green Bay, but that's already substantially better than what the Jets had at quarterback last year, and I think that's going to be good enough. The Niners are a really tough test the first week. Really, Rodgers' first snaps with this team. I think the offense looked pretty good if it weren't for a couple of mistakes here and there. I'm more concerned about the defense. The defense was supposed to be really tough. The Niners have obviously a very good team, a lot of weapons that you have to account for, but this D-line was supposed to be insane. The Niners don't have their running back, Christian McCaffrey, in the game.
Looks like Emmitt Smith.
Dude, he ran for 145 yards and was just running through a motherfucker's face. It was unbelievable. So I don't really see the same concerns about the Jets yet. I think there definitely are concerns. I'm not 100% on them, but I like them over the Titans. I think they definitely showed a lot more than Tennessee did last week.
Fair. I'm all right. Next game we got Bucks versus Lions, which is my sneaky game of the week. It is very much my sneaky game of the week. Both teams look really good in their season opener, more so the Bucks.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with the Bucks over the Lions. They're gonna get away from home. I just didn't like the fact that especially how the Lions started the game. Amon-Ra barely got any touches. David Montgomery barely got any touches until that incredible overtime he had. I think the Bucks just know what they are. The Bucks just really know what they are. They're gonna lean on the run with Rashee Rice, and they're gonna be like, "Fuck it." When we gotta throw it, Mike Evans will be getting 15 targets a game, and we will live with that. And we're gonna play some good defense. And I'm gonna go with an early season. I know it's not an upset because they're both division winners, but I'm gonna go to Bucks over the Lions.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I like what the Bucks are doing over there with Baker, Rashad White, Mike Evans. They got Chris Godwin involved a lot this last week too, so that was good to see. But I'm gonna take the Lions. I think they came out a little rough out the gate against LA, but I think they'll come out strong at home week 2, and I think they match up pretty well against the Bucks defensively. Yeah, give me the Lions.
Bet. Next game we got Raiders versus Ravens. I think we both can agree here. I think the Ravens are about to blow up on the Raiders. No disagreement. I don't really have analysis for that too. I think the Ravens are going to bounce back. I think the Raiders are going to be an 0-2 hole. Game after that, we got Rams versus Cardinals. I think the Cardinals look really, really solid this week, especially running the ball. I know they didn't use Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot in week 1. I think only had like 2 catches, 3 targets, but they really didn't need him, bro. They were running the ball like crazy. Kyler, James Conner, they pretty much got to run whatever. So the Rams too, Puka is going to be out for basically the next 4 games. They're missing 4 of their offensive linemen. It's going to be tough for them. It's really going to be tough with them. I still think I'm going to pick the Cardinals. I'm going to pick the Cardinals at home. I think this is their chance to get at the Rams. Don't get me wrong, the Rams played incredibly well, especially missing all those weapons. But I think away from home, division rival, I think Arizona is going to do some work.
See, I like the Cardinals too, but Kyler Murray cost me money last week. So I am going to go with the Rams this week to challenge Kyler Murray and say, Kyler, I need you to make some big time throws in the 4th quarter, buddy, because you were in that game till the last minute. You got a big kickoff return touchdown to stay in that game against one of the tougher teams, one of the upper echelon teams in football, the Buffalo Bills. You gotta make some big time throws. Marvin Harrison was wide ass open down the field, and you want to establish yourself with one of the elite names, which I know he can. Kyler showed it, I think, on Sunday in glimpses, that he is a very good quarterback, but he needs to take that next step. So I'm taking the Rams as a challenge to Kyler Murray.
I'm not mad at you. Like I said, the Rams look solid. I think Matt Stafford's good to see him healthy. I think they're going to struggle without Puka and all those offensive line are missing. All right, next game we got Bengals versus Chiefs. I think a lot of people's game of the week, marking on the schedule. I'm going to go Chiefs winning this game. Bengals look shitty in game 1. Shitty. I know they always start the year shitty. This is week 2. Started was crazy. And I don't think anything is going to be much different. T. Higgins is still out. Jamar Chase, I think if they keep losing, especially early on, I think Jamar Chase is going to be especially irritated. I'm gonna go Kansas City.
Okay, I like it. Fun fact: Joe Burrow has still not lost to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals. I know they came out a little slow out the gates last week, but I think this week they understand the quarterback that they're facing on the other sideline. They've had a lot of battles against these guys. Jamar is going to bring it. He's not taking the Chiefs lightly. I don't think anyone on this team is. Yeah, I like the Bengals this week. They're underdogs too, for sure. So that would be my pick.
Bet.
Got one more 3:00 game.
Yeah, we do. We got the Steelers versus the Broncos. I think again, probably the worst game of the week. I think this is worse than the Commanders and the Giants. I'd rather watch Commanders and Giants, but we got Steelers and Broncos. Bo Nix looked rough in his first game. Could barely throw the ball past 5 yards. Same with Justin Fields. New team, same Justin Fields. Shitty. I don't know if Russell Wilson's going to play this week. I think if he can, they're definitely probably going to give him a go over him. I do think the Steelers win this game over the Broncos. It's going to be a very low-scoring game, but I do think the Steelers win.
Yeah, I mean, these are the kind of games that the Steelers usually win. Just a defensive matchup, not a lot of points.
This is one of those games
right
where
up
at
his
the end of the year
alley.
when the Steelers have 9 wins, you're like, oh, how'd they get 9 wins? These are the games that they get 9 wins.
This is one of the wins. Yep, this is one of the wins. I am interested to see if there is some kind of, I guess, like if the Broncos find a way to win, I will say it's because of the head coach matchup of Mike Tomlin versus Sean Payton. That's going to be really interesting to see how these two guys match up against each other defensively. And yeah, but give me the Steelers.
You got Steelers. All right. Yep. We got Sunday Night Football, Bears versus Texans. CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams' first primetime game. But unfortunately, I think the Texans look really, really good, especially on offense. They kind of got the pecking order already down on offense. Joe Mixon looks fresh. He looks revitalized. Stephon Diggs is going to be the wide receiver 3. Nico Collins, again, like a lot of people predicted, pat myself on the back, he's wide receiver 1 of that team, and he's stupid cold. I think until Caleb and that offense really get going, they don't got a shot this game. I'm going to go Texans and probably a blowout.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I think the Bears looked rough, or at least their offense looked rough against the Titans. Their defense and special teams kind of kept them in that game. So, that's kind of how I'm feeling too. So give me the Texans there.
Bet. And then our final Monday Night Football, Eagles versus Falcons, Battle of the Birds. I think in agreement here, especially the way they looked, especially your overreaction. Unfortunately, I think the Philadelphia Eagles do win this game. Start the season off 2-0.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I do think this could be a trap game, though. I think the Falcons could come out the gates really strong next week or this upcoming Monday after their disappointing loss. And I could definitely see them try to attack Philly like Green Bay did last week. But I don't know. I still feel better about the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, those are our week 2 NFL predictions. If you really like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. We're going to try to do one of these every single week for the NFL season. I think this is the year where we try to keep up to date with our predictions. We usually go 4 or 5 weeks and then forget about them. But this year, we're going to lock the fuck in. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Our Recording Podcast. We upload podcasts every 2 weeks, and we got YouTube videos pretty much multiple times a week. Make sure to check us out on TikTok at AWR Podcast and Instagram to tap in with your boys. But yeah, excited for football, man.
Love it. It's the best time of year.